Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly update for September 29th, 2024. So, this has been a good reading week overall. I'm really actually surprised at how much I got done. I didn't read what I planned to read. It really much, my mood switched and I just went with it. It's pretty much what happens a lot of times. So, I have quite a bit of things. Update on the garage doors. We will have our order in on Monday. We can't get the one color we want is discontinued, a light gray. Why? Anyway, I don't understand. Aren't there a lot of gray houses out there? Anyway, so we're gonna get the dark gray, and then we might have to repaint our trim either to match the light gray of the house or something to match the doors. I'm not sure. It's more of a charcoal gray, so and ours is more of a blue gray. Our trim, I don't know what we're gonna do. The point is, it's lower on the list. I just want the doors. So anyway, so it should be a couple more weeks, but at least things are moving forward again on the garage doors. I just want that done. I have been experiencing a lot of vertigo this week. It's due with my inner ear issues. I think it's the weather change. My ears don't do well sometimes when it changes from hot to cold so much, and it has been doing that, and my ears are feeling a little plugged even though I'm still a couple months out from my next appointment, so it's kind of annoying. So Tuesday I had vertigo all day. It was horrible, but I did get certified on the forklift this week, and so technically I have 3 years that I'm technically certified. So, I mean, I'm still going to ask questions and I'm still going to take everything really slow, but I did actually have my certification, so I can run the forklift without somebody standing there watching me, every time. Like, I can at least go out and, get my job done anyway. So that's kind of the updates right now. I don't think there's much else. No, I think that's much it. For those who are wondering, my dad is finally is not testing positive anymore, so he is feeling a lot better. So maybe sometime in October we'll get to do our trip to Powell's, but he and my mom have our busy plans that they've been putting off. They're going on a fishing trip with my aunt and uncle, so isn't that fun? Anyway, so they're down in South Oregon, so Southern Oregon, so they're gonna have fun while I have to be here and go to work. Anyway, so I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else. I don't know. Anyway, so I have put up my TBRs for October. They're kind of ambitious, both of them. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I need to do the last week in Cooper year in a way. So let's talk about the books I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. Who knows what that'll be. Anyway, so on Sunday, was it Sunday? Yeah. I finished A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So this took me since January to read this book, and I did restart it at one point. So, Kitty, you're just driving me crazy. So this is the second book in the ACOTAR series, or A Quarter of Thorns and Roses series. I really was surprised at how much I enjoyed the first book when I got to the end. By the time it finished, it definitely surprised me. So this one, I couldn't figure out why I kept stalling out about 250 pages in, because the beginning is really good, with stuff from aftermath of what happened in the first book. This is a fantasy romance where we're following Farah, who in the first book, she is pretty much starved, and she shoots a wolf who turns out to be a fae changeling or whatever. So then she is pulled into the fae realms or whatever, to pay for that debt, and then they just escalate from there. Again, this is the aftermath of what happens in that book, so I don't want to give anything away. I think the middle for me just it just didn't go the direction I thought it would. I think I see now after I finished it, and again, I was really not sure how I felt about this series, because I kept putting it down. It was so easy for me to set this down in the middle of the book, because the beginning was so good of this book, and then the middle, it was easy to set it down. And so finally, last weekend, I was like, okay, I need to get this book done. if I'm ever going to get through this series. And I pushed through it. I had to get the audiobook though, because I didn't have it before. Jennifer Aikida did it, and she did it was a fair audiobook. I enjoyed it, and I think that's the only reason I made it through this book. So we'll see how I feel when I get to the next book, because of the things that happened in the end of this book were really, a lot of stuff happening, and so a lot of things were everybody's in jeopardy at the end, and I'd like those kind of cliffhangers, especially when I have the next book. So I do have A Court of Wings and Ruins, but I don't expect to pick it up until at the earliest November. Maybe I'll get to it by December. I'm not sure, because October I just have too many books. And this just took way too long. I do not know why I stalled out so much on this, but my mood reading this year has just been doing that. So overall, I enjoyed it. I read the famous chapter 55 scene, whatever. Anyway, point is that I liked the beginning and the end, and then the middle was just kind of, okay, that was okay. So I still enjoyed it. I'm still glad I read it. I still will continue because I want to see where it goes, and I want to see how it connects to the other series. I really want to finish the ACOTAR series before I start Throne of Glass. I just don't want to get everything all mixed up in my head. I mean, I don't think I would, but I also don't want to be reading 2 of her series at one time. I mean, I'm still already in the middle of Crescent City, so because I haven't read book 3, because I want to read these other series before I do that. So we will see what happens. Anyway, so I'm glad I read that and got it done. But it wasn't the best reading experience, but there was a lot of good stuff in there. I still had a fun time. It was still an enjoyable read overall. It's just, I had a little problem in the middle for me. So then I picked up Brothers of the Wind by Tad Williams. This is the novella that was published after, not novella, it's a short novel. It's 258 pages, and it was published after Empire of Grass, but it tells a story that's a prequel to the whole Ostenard series, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, and Last King of Ostenard. So I would, though, suggest reading this where it was published. I don't think you should read this first before you start The Dragonbone Chair. Not at all. I think this definitely is... he wrote it later. It is important, but I don't think you would understand everything that happens in here unless you have read the series up to this point. I don't think you'd get much out of it. This is like my least favorite part of the series, only because we're getting characters who are they've been talked about, but again, this is a prequel, so it talks about people way back in the time. This is an epic fantasy series. Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn has his storyline, and then Last King of Ostenard is a continuation of that one. I definitely say read them in publication order, so start with Dragonbone Chair, because again, that Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is my favorite series of all time, or fantasy series of all time. So this one I just enjoyed. Again, this was a reread for me. I read this a little bit after it came out, so I was up to date at this time when this book came out. So this one was narrated by somebody else, though, on audio, James Larey or something. And I'm kind of glad it wasn't Andrew Wincott who does, because he does the main series. I think it was interesting to change it because this is kind of a different time and different characters. So I guess that kind of made sense. It felt weird to be listening to this the series, but from a different narrator. It was kind of weird. But again, it was a reread, so I just listened to it on audio. And I enjoyed it because, again, it's Tad Williams and I love this series. But this is my least favorite part of probably the whole series, just because it's a short novel. It's not a novella, it's a novel, because he can't write a novella to save his life. Anyway, the point is, I really, I'm glad I finished my reread, so now I will be able to go into the next, the book number 3 in The Last King of Ostenard, which is Into the Narrow Dark, during October. That is my goal. So then I had one manga that showed up from my library holds. I Am a Cat Barista. And this is by Hiro Majima. So this was a weird one. This is one of the more magical realism ones. I remember I read a lot of cat manga earlier this summer, and or during the summer. And this is one of the ones that took me months to get the first book. So I just got it. So I read it so that I can turn it back in because there are people waiting for it. So this was a weird one. It has where there's this mysterious cafe that only appears to people who really need it, who are stressed out or not doing so well. And then he kind of gives a little advice, but it's he's like a man-sized cat, and he has kind of a, cat perspective of life and stuff. So it's cute. And it's kind of sweet in some ways. It's just, it was okay. It was fine. I'm glad I tried it, but it's not something I'm going to pick up the next one for at any point, since there's such a there's such a wait list for it. It's just, by the time I got volume 2, I don't care. So anyway, I at least read that so I can take it back to the library. I have another one that I am excited for that just showed up at the library. So this week I will take that back and go get that one. Then I'm stacking these incorrectly here. And then on a whim, like I had put this on my September TBR to try to read Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa Dare. And I kind of put it off all month. I did get the audiobook came through with Helen Laser as Lasser as the narrator. And I just listened to this, over 2 days, and I really enjoyed this. This is the last book in the Spindle Cove, and it also crosses to be the last book in the Castles Ever After series. So we're following a character who is a sister to 2 other women that we've had books from in the past. I know for sure book 2, and then one of the novellas. And so this is the youngest sister, so it's her dealing with their mother, who is very much trying to get her married off well. And it was her name starts with a C. I can't remember what Charlotte. It was Charlotte. Anyway, and then he is actually a character from Castles Ever After book 2. He was the brother who was supposed to marry one of the women, who then his brother came to try to get her to marry his brother, and then they got together. Anyway, so they were betrothed, and then the brothers switched. Anyway, the point is that it does cross. So it took me a while to figure out where how do these 2 series cross. So, I really enjoyed this one. Again, Tessa Dare has, I've read both these series now to completion. So I've really enjoyed Spindle Cove and Castles Ever After. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to definitely start another one of her series fairly soon. I might start with Girl Meets Duke or go back to one of her older ones. I'm not sure yet. But these historical, they're Regency romances. And these 2, Charlotte gets into a lot of trouble. She's just her mom is trying to get her married off, as I said. And so she tries to warn the Marquess that he needs to be wary of her and get away from her because they're at this house party. And then they kind of get caught up where they think that they were doing something they shouldn't have been. And then somebody else was doing that, but they weren't. They were just trapped behind a curtain in the library while it happened. And so it's kind of like but there's other things going on. And then he's kind of has a background of being, he's a spy for the British government, but, using his position to get places that maybe not everybody else could get to. So their love story was really cute. I really liked the way it went and how they interacted. And again, it's the grumpy, I'm not going to say she's sunshine, but she is definitely more lively than he is. But I liked the way this one went. I liked the way it all wrapped up and stuff. And I really enjoyed this. So I'm glad I got to that. And I finished 2 series with 1 book. And then I also got a audiobook from the library, because this is a series I wasn't sure I wanted to continue, so I did not purchase a book. But I was unsure if I wanted to or not. But I did get A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. So this is the 2nd book in the Glimmer Falls series. This one was narrated by Carmen Rose. And I really enjoyed this one. Like, I was unsure about the first one, which is Witch's Guide to fake dating a demon. And I liked that one, but there were certain things about it I didn't like as well. So it was kind of okay. This one was a lot more fun, or this is a much more fun because they're kind of on a quest and they're enemies to lovers, which is not, I'm not going to say is my favorite trope. I know a lot of people love enemies to lovers. I mean, I like that. I'm more like adversaries, you know, to reluctant allies kind of thing, or reluctant allies to lovers kind of thing. So, but these two like don't like each other because he is a demon and he has actually been, he has amnesia and he just did a whole lot of bad things in the first book. And then and then she is the friend of who he did the bad things to. And so she's mad about that, but she saves him from somebody else trying to kill him. Another thing. And then, they have to go on a quest to try to get his memory back. And it's just, I really enjoyed this ride. Now, not if you guys don't like travel ones, or, you know, where they're going on a quest to see this, a witch that's supposed to help and all the stuff that goes along. It was just a fun ride. She has a tendency to get into fights and he thinks he's, you know, God's gift to the world kind of thing, even though he's a demon. You know, it was actually pretty fun. So I will continue the Glimmers Fall series and read book 3. Unfortunately, I think that just came out in August, so it's going to be a wait because the audiobook is out like 13 weeks or something on Libby for me. So we will see when I get to that, if I get to that at some point. So, but I did enjoy that, and that was a really quick listen to as well. So that was really nice. And then I picked up Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett. This is book 2 in the Emily Wilde series. So this one I also got on audio from Libby, and that was done by Elle Potter. And this is one of those ones where I really enjoyed parts of it, but you know, I was still kind of like, do I love this? Do I don't like this? I don't know. There's certain things about Emily that's just, sometimes I'm like, why'd you make that decision? And then it works out and it's fine, but this definitely went in directions I didn't expect. So I did like that. I did like that the plot in this was much more cohesive, I think, than the first book. So I kind of think it makes sense. And I'm kind of curious to see where it goes in the next one. So I'm on the edge of if I'm going to buy book 3. I might just get it from the library when it comes out. We'll see. But of all the cozy fantasy, this is, again, we're following Emily Wilde in the first book. Emily Wilde in the Encyclopedia of Fairies. She goes off to try to finish her Encyclopedia of Fairies, and she goes to this northern country, and her colleague kind of slash rival kind of shows up, and things just got to go wrong. And it's kind of cozy because it has to do with Fae and other things like that, but it's kind of like the Edwardian period with all these extra touches to it. So it's kind of interesting. In this one, I think they went to the Alps, so it was another cool location. A lot of stuff happened to this. I did enjoy it. I don't know if I could say like I really like I can't say I really loved it, but I did enjoy it. I had fun. And I will continue, so it's not like it's bad. It's just, you know, I don't know. The series just might not hit all the buttons for me, but I think I know other people have enjoyed it, and I think it is fun. I just think it's a fun ride. So anyway, but I did get that done. So I think that's everything I finished. Yeah. So real quick, the books that I'm in the middle of right now, I did start Hungry for You by Lindsay Sands, but I think this is book 4 in the Argonaut Vampire series. I was hoping to get one done this month because I am, you know, so behind on this series. But I think this is my least favorite book of the whole series. And so I am slowly kind of reading it, kind of almost skim reading it, but I'm not quite, but it feels like it. It's just taking me forever. I'm only 110 pages in. And I set this down earlier in the week. So I will try to pick it up during October and try to finish it, just not right now, but I am in the middle of this, and it's just, this one has to do with Alex, she is a chef, and she's trying to open up a second restaurant in Toronto, and things are just getting sabotaged. I mean, obviously somebody is out to get her, but we're not sure yet for sure who that is. And Kale is part of the Argano that family, kind of connected through marriage or something. I'm not sure. Or he's the nephew of one of the main characters from the earlier books, and he is looking for his mate, but he is one of the older vampires, so he is he's kind of different. Anyway, not bad, but I just meant his perspective is very different. He's very business oriented, so he's going to help her get through her because she's having trouble with starting up the new business, and so he's going to help, but he knows that she is his life mate, and he can't, because that's when they know that when they can't read them. And so, I mean, but my problem is that it started off with a lie, and I mean, again, he's kind of backed off, and he's kind of told her, oh, that wasn't really true, but it's just still not enough. Like, it was, I'm like, why would you lie about that? Like, it made no sense whatsoever. And again, it was just to get her to meet him when she was super busy. I'm like, it was dumb. It was really a dumb reason. So I don't trust this book. As I said, I've really enjoyed most of the other of the Argano Vampire series. So it's kind of sad that this one is not working out for me, but I will continue because I do own like 20 more of these books. And usually I like them in the end, but you know, as I said, this one is not a favorite. And I don't think it ever will be. I think it's definitely my least favorite of the series so far. And then I am still doing my reread of Gold by Raven Kennedy. This is book 5 in the Plated Prisoner series. I was really hoping to finish my reread and then start Goldfinch and read that this week, but I was unable to get myself to read this. I got almost halfway through, and then I was like, okay, I'm done for a little bit. I need to set this down. So I did just pick this up again last night and got another 140 pages done. So I still have about 200 pages left to reread Gold before I can pick up the Goldfinch, which is the last book in this series. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I've decided to wait until I'm ready for it right now. I just want to try to get through this. Hopefully this week. We'll see. As I said, I mean, I'm hoping to get done a lot of it maybe today and maybe get it done tomorrow, but I'm not going to say I have to get it done in September. I would like to get this done soon so that I do have a chance to pick up Goldfinch if it comes up, like if I do a Spookaplathon roll and it matches that for some reason or other. But again, I still have 200 pages of that to read. So now let's just talk real quick about what I'm going to read in the next week. Again, I'm going to try to wrap up Gold. And then I'm not sure audiobook wise what I'll read tomorrow. So I have a couple options, which I'll get to in a second. But Victober starts on the 1st. And then I have my first roll for Spookaplathon. I have those videos up on my channel. I will have them linked down below. So I'm going to start with The Importance of Being Earnest, which is one of the plays by Oscar Wilde. I want to get that done. I have the audiobook. It's like a cast audio that does the play. So I'm really kind of, one of the narrators is James Marston. Is that his name? The one who played Spike on Buffy. So I am looking forward to getting to that because I had trouble when I tried to read this just physically. The Importance of Being Earnest is just, you know, plot wise just didn't do it for me. But I'm going to try to listen to the audiobook of that on the 1st. We'll see if that happens. I might be in the middle of something else, but I meant like it's going to be one of my first audiobooks for October. And then after that, I will start Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. This is another audiobook that I have that I don't have the narrator on this one. I did make it to like 124 pages about 3 years ago, but I don't remember any of that now. So I will restart from the beginning. And this is my first of the things I want to get done. This is one that was serialized, so Marissa's prompts, and then this one is for a play that was one of Roz's prompts. So those are my Victober, the first reads I want to do. And then Spookaplathon I have for a physical read. I'm going to start Grimstone by Sophie Lark. This is, I don't know if it's like, I think it's just a duology. The second book is coming out in October. So I'd really like to read the first book to know that if I should have pre-ordered it. I did pre-order it, but I don't know if I should have. So I'm going to read this. This has to do with Remy, who is, who's had some really bad luck. And then I think she inherits, this mansion from her uncle, but she's going to try to renovate it to flip it. And I don't think things go right. She meets her neighbor who is thought to have killed his wife. So I don't know. Anyway, but I'm going to start that, you know, fairly soon. And then let's see here. And also this week I'm starting on the 2nd. I'm going to start my buddy read with Berner, Berner's Bookish Adventures, and read Wild About You by Carolyn Sparks. I believe this is book, is this 13? Oh, I knew what number it was a minute ago. Now 13 or 14, I think it's 13. I don't know. It's one of the books. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's 13. Anyway, but this is the next one, and I'm looking forward to Howard's book. Again, this is paranormal romance with vampires and other things, and I'm looking forward to what happens with this one. So we will read that over 5 days starting on the 2nd. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the last two things are one's audiobooks that I could start today if I felt like, I don't know if I'm not leaving the house again, but I mean, maybe if I feel like listening to audiobook later today, I might start one of these. So another book that I would like to read is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I was hoping to read it this last week, but I just wasn't in the mood. So this one is a fantasy romance following, I don't remember her name, but her father pretty much raised and trained her and her siblings to become the bride to a kingdom that he wants to take down from the inside. And so and I don't think it goes the way it was planned, but anyway, this is the first book in a duology, and then there's another duology that's in the same world. Anyway, this is when I bought the indie copy, and there's new versions coming out, and I pre-ordered the first one thinking, oh, well, I'll like it. I don't know if I'll like it. Anyway, so I need to read this, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it in time. Or I might listen to House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. So this is also another duology. I think it's a duology. That everybody's talking about. And I've been wanting to read this all month, and I just haven't got myself, to do it. As I said, mood just drags me everywhere. So this is more steampunky urban fantasy romance kind of thing, where there's an arranged marriage or a forced marriage, or I don't know. I can't remember what kind of marriage. Actually, not. I think they get married, but they're not together. Like they do it for political reasons, so a political marriage or something. And she's trying to solve some mystery, and then he gets kind of involved in helping her or something. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Everybody's been ranting on it. I really want to read this, so I might pick up this one. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to read later today. I'm probably going to read a little bit of Gold, but I don't know if I want to try another audiobook, or tomorrow I just pick one when I get to, before I leave for work. I don't know. So many things. So many things. And then, as I said, October, I'll be switching over to the Victober reads. So I don't want to, both of those are not too long. So I could definitely get them done early October, and then, switch to those. Anyway, that's kind of the goal. We'll see what happens. So, what are you reading, or are you looking forward to October? Again, everybody's doing all the readathons, and again, I only had to pick 2 because I had too many already, and stuff. I'm hoping to get through a lot in October, but we will see how that goes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I think I am going to vlog at least for a couple weeks in October. We'll see. I might start today to do the because the month doesn't end until tomorrow, but I don't want to start on a Tuesday. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I won't. I don't know what I'll do. We'll see. If I don't do it, then we will start the vlogging next week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm in a weird mood. Can you tell? Anyway, so Cooper and I will have to see you guys later. Bye.